Nous sommes ici avec Blaine et Campbell, qui est parti du robotique au Simcoe. Et ils ne parlent pas français, puis nous avons besoin de... Stop!
You snorted into a cup.
Nous avons besoin?
I'm gonna say we need to like
New
ask
besoin?
I thought you didn't speak French, Kim.
Okay.
The cover's blown.
Okay.
How do you say to ask?
À demander.
Nous, you could say like
Okay.
nous devons or
Et nous
something.
devons demander des questions en anglais. Puis notre première question. Our first question is, what happens at robotics?
Okay, so robotics is usually split into two parts throughout the year. So we start with the VEX, which is the smaller scale robotics tournaments. That's all year round. So pretty much you learn about the game at the end of when the last game is played, and then you have all year to build a robot for it. And we usually spend the first few months of school doing that. We'll split into teams of 4, usually by a grade, and then those will build the robots, and we're just gonna like see who does the best. Usually it's the older teams that do the better, but we also have a few. Okay, sorry. All right, let's just pretend like I didn't. Just cut it. Just cut it.
Start with older teams that do better.
Okay. So the older teams usually do better than the younger ones, but they also help out the younger teams when it comes to programming and stuff like that. And pretty much how the competition works is that. I thought I was doing good.
You were! You tapped her mom!
Alright, so usually how the competition works.
So usually how the competition works is that we have a 15-second. Okay, there's. Okay.
Can you be serious for 2 seconds?
I can't. Okay.
So usually how the competition works is that we have a 15. Oh my god!
So you see how the competition works.
Okay, do you want me to like rephrase that?
Taylor!
So how the competition works. 'Cause it's not usually, it's always.
Okay.
Oh my god! Okay. Don't look at me like that.
Sorry, do you want me to just like fucking look at it?
Go!
Okay, dude, I'm literally just looking at you.
Okay. I'm not done.
If you want, I can look at you and you can look at Blaine so that it looks less bad. Does that make you laugh less? That hurts. Did you
Okay,
feel fucking
let's go.
happy?
No, literally just look at like the table or something. That's what I do.
So the
It's kind of
competition.
mean.
Oh my god.
Okay, go.
So the competition is made up of.
Stop!
She was laughing! Okay.
I'm at least trying.
How long are the games? It's like a 15-second autonomous and then what? A minute and 45 seconds for the game? Okay.
Usually.
Usually?
Not usually. I don't know. I don't do
Okay.
that.
So the games are made up of a 15-second autonomous period where pretty much robots are just, they're not actually controlled by any players. They are controlled by programming, and then that essentially run the robot and make it do things. And then afterwards, the players will be able to program their controllers to run the robot and do things for a minute and 45 seconds, where they have a teleoperated period.
Alright, and basically Cameron. I always call it. The start and end are always the same. I do it to you all the time. Okay. Alright.
And it's not Cameron.
So as Campbell said at the beginning,
Stop laughing. Maybe we should wait until they stop laughing.
Record it, okay?
Sorry guys.
Okay. Okay, go. Blaine's getting angry.
You wouldn't like him when he's angry.
so as Campbell said at the beginning, we have two parts of our team basically. So for the other part, FRC, it's kind of the same. So we build one robot instead of multiple per the team. So we build one huge robot. We put a lot of time into this robot, and the season starts in January for this competition called FRC, and it basically takes all this, like a lot of skills that you'd use in real life, like a lot of it for mechanical, a lot of people engineer. Also for the programming side, it usually ends up being a lot more complicated in the VEX team. That's why we choose kids. Once we see kids performing well in the VEX competition, then we can move them over to FRC if we think they're good. And a lot of it's the same, so we have an autonomous period right at the beginning of FRC. challenge or game, and so not controlled by the player, and then the player controls it for the next couple minutes. Games are always different every single year, just like Vex, but it's just a lot more complicated, and we put a lot more time into it than our Vex competition because we have done very well in that competition. And we'll answer on the other question.
Yeah, wait, no, I want to add a bit.
You want to add a bit? Okay, go ahead.
The thing with FRC that makes it a lot more challenging is that we only have a 6-week period to make it. So the game is announced 6 weeks before you actually compete, and then, oh man, that was really repetitive. Okay, I'll just restart the sentence. So the thing with FRC is that the game is announced 6 weeks before you actually have to compete with it. So you have that much time to build your robot and do everything, and you have to make sure that you're completely organized and stay really late after school in order to actually get it to work properly.
Yeah, you put a lot of time into it.
A lot of time and heart.
Yeah.
So, are you guys part of FRC or Vex?
I've usually been just part of FRC. Campbell's going to be part of the FRC this year, right, buddy?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And so I'm more on this on the mechanical side of FRC. So I build the robot, I build the mechanisms, and I'm machining a lot of the parts for it. Campbell, he's going to be programming a lot of it. So whatever the game that this year will require, like whatever challenge it is, like for example, if we need to hang it, like I build that part, and then Campbell would program it so we'd able to like fire the pistons to get the robot to hang wherever it needs to, which probably won't even happen this year because it happened last year. But yeah, it's a cool thing. It's a different game every year, which I love. It's like different every time. It's like not repetitive at all, and yeah.
Okay. So, what kind of things have you guys achieved?
Our robotics team is actually one of like the best robotics teams in like the whole competition. Like a lot of people look up to us because we have accomplished so much. I think back in 2008 we won the World Championships, and in 2012 our team won Chairman's Award at the World Championships, which means that we got put into the Hall of Fame. And that means that we are automatically we're automatically qualified for the World Championships every single year. So we don't need to like qualify for it, but we go to regional competitions anyways, just so we can like practice and stuff like that. And pretty much we are just a very highly looked upon team in the whole robotics community.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the goals that you guys have set for this year and for your championships and competitions?
Well, the main goal is usually what we've been striving for every single year, which is to win the competition and get that.
Sorry.
I would say we obviously we like to win, but our goal is usually to do well in competition. Obviously, we don't want to just lose like the first regional. Like last year, we always came like extremely close. We made it to the finals, and then lost the last game.
Yeah. Which
Which happened a lot this year, but I think this year we're going to do a lot better, and we hope to do better.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's not always like okay. All right.
Not always black and white.
All right. Wait. Let's think about this answer.
Alright, let's think about it.
All right. I'm just gonna slide right in. Okay. So,
5:15. We still have to interview Haley, so let's speed this up.
You're saying that when you've been like wasting the most time.
I thought.
we also strive to help out other teams with their own robots. So a lot of them will come to us and ask, hey, could you help us with this or something when their robot has any problems? And we're willing to help out. It really gives us a great reputation, and it's one of the reasons that we like to do it, is just to help out other people.
Yeah, so basically like our goal is like we like to be very professional at our competitions, and like people look at us as like a very kind of professional and like kind of highly looked upon team. And basically, our goal is to do well in the competition, try and win, but like, you know, if we don't win, that's not everything about it, because a lot of the kids, they go out of this program with like knowledge about actual work ethic and stuff like that. It actually prepares you for the kind of trade or like, you know, engineering or computer science, programming, stuff like that. It prepares you for your work field that you're usually going into. And I think it's called STEM. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's a science, technology,
Engineering and math.
yeah, and it prepares you for those types of fields that robotics prepares you for. Yeah.
Okay.
Last question.
So what kind of events do you guys host?
So far this year, we've hosted 2 different kinds of events. We've hosted a VEX competition and a Lego robotics competition. And these are mainly just to help out some of the sponsors that help out with robotics. So the Lego competition, what would happen was we'd have some of our students be MCs, or some of them would be refs. Other people would help with cleanup or setting it up. And then others would go into each team and act as their captain, get them organized. And they just run a competition with their Lego autonomous periods, and that's pretty interesting.
Is that for younger kids or?
That's for the usually around middle schoolers will be doing that.
Grade 6 to grade 8, they do the Lego competition, and we basically hosted it because robotics costs a lot of money, especially because the robot has a lot of complicated parts it needs, and that costs a lot of money. So this helps us out with that kind of thing with sponsorships. GM sponsors us, and that's the reason why we do the Lego competition, because GM is the one that organizes it, and then we host it and we let them use our Governors and Co. And we help out with it with volunteering, just so it's less money, pretty much.
Yeah, robotics is also great for getting volunteer hours because of the whenever we help out with the competition, we can always get volunteer hours from that because GM's willing to give them out, and then you can get pretty much all your 40 hours from robotics alone.
And then we also host VEX tournaments. We host 2 of them. We host a regional and then a provincial competition. Regional, obviously, it's just closer to here. And then provincials, it everyone from Ontario comes to our school to participate and try and make it to the World Championships, because our provincial competition is the qualifier for VEX World Championships.
And in that we have certain roles, we have the inspectors, we have people managing the scoreboards and the projectors and all that, and then we also have people focusing on the tech, printing out stuff, getting schedules ready. So there's actually a lot of work that goes into getting these competitions ready.
And sometimes we even have our own teams participating in these events, because sometimes they qualify for provincials, which we usually do. I think we had 2 teams qualify for provincials this year, which is pretty good, in my opinion.
So for people who want to join, do they have to actually if they don't want to build or program or anything, could they just help out with the competitions and
Yeah, for
MC
sure.
and stuff?
Yeah, if they want to not be on the team, but they talk to the person that runs the program, Mr. Duramio. He's always happy to let people help out, because we do need a lot of help with a lot of our competitions. So people can ask him if he needs volunteers for the next competition, and he'll definitely almost always say yes.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of people that don't usually show up for the actual daily robotics, but they're always there for volunteering to help us out, and that's a great thing.
And also, robotics isn't all just about building and programming. We also have another guy that does graphics for the team, so he designs some posters and pamphlets for our team that help us get our sponsors and stuff like that. And
there's also electrical,
which is also, I guess, part of building too. But
yeah.
There's more stuff than just building and programming.
Yeah, actually during the year you can pick out which roles you most prefer, and then you can rank them based off of that, and then Duramio will put you into what he thinks you're best in.
Cool.
Alright.
D'accord, ça c'est la fin de notre interview avec Blaine et Campbell.